and good morning. Welcome into the Cullman in the Morning Show. I'm Debbie Wood along with Rachel Dawsey. Rachel is here today to talk about Agriplex. The Agriplex is a wonderful program in our community, and you're going to love and enjoy what we have to tell you this morning. And if you haven't been part of it, I think you're going to want to do that after you hear what we have to tell you today. And always good to see you. How are you?
Thank you. Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Now, how many years? We talked about this pre-interview. You've been here 7 years?
Yes, we moved back to Cullman right after the tornadoes. That's how I always date it, and started working with the Agriplex that fall of 2011.
Wow. That is just so hard to believe, isn't it? 7 years. And the Agriplex, for those folks at home that maybe don't know, and maybe they're new to the community, your mission is to do what?
Our mission is to promote agriculture, both past and present, and sustainability.
Exactly. And that is something, and we were also talking earlier about how so many things you think are just common sense kind of things, but you know, it just depends on where you're raised and how you're raised. Sometimes that's not the case.
Right, yes.
I mean, all of us are not raised in the country, you know?
Right.
Some of us are raised right downtown, so it does make a big difference. The Agriplex is located where?
We are on Tallyho Street, 1714 Tallyho Street. I always say right across from the Cullman Bowling Alley.
Yes.
So,
Good way to market, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, you've got a great little program here, and it says the North Alabama Agriplex promoting Ag Heritage 2018. On the back, save the dates. It's got the children's programs, adult programs. And let's start out with your children's programs.
Yes. So we have 5 different programs that are our monthly series, and of those 3 are geared towards children. We have Little Farmers, that's our preschool program that's once a month. We have our Heritage Homeschool for homeschooling families, and then we also have our Farm Kids Club that meets one Saturday a month. So we just met this past Saturday, and we did apples. So for that program, we usually, pretty much all of our programs we usually taste. We have some kind of food element in there, and then we do crafts and games and try to have it fun, hands-on learning.
Awesome.
And this Saturday, we actually planted an apple tree at the Agriplex. So they got to be a part of that.
Oh, and they love that, don't they? Or they did love it. What ages are we talking about for the children's programs?
So preschool is about 3 and 4 year olds, that preschool age 3 to 5. And then our homeschool is anywhere from kindergarten and up. And so we divide that program into age groups. So we usually have kind of kindergarten first, elementary, and then actually middle high school. So it's a big range. And then for our Farm Kids Club, it's just ages 5 and up.
5 and up,
And those are all with an adult. So we like to do kind of multi-generational programming so that then the parents can take that home and teach the children and reinforce that.
So if you want to be part of that, you certainly need to call first, right, to let you know that they're coming.
On our website under agriplex.org, we have registration. So it's all online right now, all online registration.
Good. Do that and then plan to stay at least one adult, or that's what you recommend is one adult to stay with the children. Let's talk about your adult programs, and then we're going to go back and just sort of highlight some things that are coming up.
Right, yes. So we do Living Landscapes that's about backyard sustainability, and our Heritage Skills is kind of what you were saying, those lost and dying skills.
Yes.
So we do those once a month. We have leatherworking coming up next week that Craig Mann is teaching that for us. And then in December, we've kind of done this every year. We do a wreath making class. And so we start with the grapevine that we go and pull out in the woods. And so they make a grapevine wreath that can be reused. And then we have all the fresh local greenery that they put on there. And that's really fun because everybody makes their own and does it differently.
Sure.
And so those are upcoming. We usually focus on, like this year, we've done rain barrels in the Living Landscapes. We've done, we do a lot of gardening, backyard gardening, and then with the Heritage Skills, we've done everything from blacksmithing, sewing. We've done some adult sewing classes that weren't even a part of this series because there's been a lot of interest in the sewing.
Oh, I bet. And one that jumped out to me was your cast iron care and how to cook in cast iron skillets. and pots. And it's so amazing to me that a lot of people don't know how you take care of your skillet.
Right.
It's very
yes.
important. You want to tell the folks
Yes.
this morning?
Well, cast iron is the original nonstick and still can be a lot better than nonstick
Yes.
pans. And so no
Safer.
soap. Soap is the enemy of cast iron.
Yes.
And so it's something new to us to get used to, of not
Right.
putting it in the dishwasher.
That's right.
Or washing it with a soapy rag.
Yes.
And so, and they have to be cured, which they can be
Yes.
re-cured. But some of the pots that we use for that program have been around for a really
For a long time.
time.
I bet.
So, yeah.
I love cooking in mine. I do a lot of things. In fact, I did candied sweet potatoes yesterday.
yum.
And instead of doing, we were trying to cut back on the sugar. Instead of doing brown sugar, of course, you've got to use a lot of butter, folks. So I used an entire stick of butter and put it in my cast iron skillet. Put your sweet potatoes over in there after you slice them. You can cut them up any way you want to, as you
Right,
know. But
yeah.
I sliced mine and then sort of quarter them. But put them in there, and then I added honey
Oh, that
instead
sounds
of brown
good.
sugar and
Yes.
cinnamon, and it was very good. I have to admit, probably not as good as the brown
As the
sugar,
brown sugar.
but it was good. It was very good and very good for you. So interesting to me that a lot of folks don't even know how to cook in an iron skillet.
Right,
So
yes,
this would
ma'am.
be good to come out for that one. And that one will be coming up on June the 21st, or maybe that was this year.
We
on June the
already
1st. You
had
did
it, yes. So we're working on our 2019
You are?
program.
Okay.
And so that program guide will hopefully be out in December.
And a lot of it is probably, you probably cover some of the same
Yeah, we
things.
usually have a couple year rotation for
You do?
things, because if we
Okay.
did rain barrels this year, we probably won't do it next year. We'll wait a
Gotcha.
year.
Good
We're
idea.
doing raised bed gardening again this year. It's been a couple years
Love
since
it.
we've done that. We did a make your own raised bed this year, where
You
people
did?
came and made their own to take home with them.
Neat.
So a lot of interest in that, a lot of interest in backyard gardening.
Yes, I bet. Now let's talk about, is there a charge? Is there a cost
Yes.
for the materials?
So we
and
try to
everything?
keep it low.
Right.
We have sponsors for all of those monthly programs.
Okay.
And those sponsors help to offset a lot of the cost.
Good.
And so with the homeschool, like if we have homeschool families with lots of children, we
Right.
charge $8 for that program, but we do a maximum of $16.
Oh, good.
And so
Good.
that helps to offset those costs. Same way with Farm Kids Club, it's a max of $10 per family. So we
Okay.
try to not have our classes be too expensive. Like for the rain barrels, we have to pay for the rain barrel, so that one was
Sure.
$40, but that's kind of
Okay.
unusual. Usually the adult programs are about $5 a class if there's not a supply fee.
Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
the same thing, go online if you want to register for any of those. Let's talk about your volunteers, and also you're now, and you've been needing help for a long time. When you first started, it was just
Yes.
you, but you have 9 employees, so tell us about how that works.
Yes, so we're still a small agency. I work part-time, and then we utilize the NARCOG CSAP program,
Okay.
the Senior Employment Training Program. And so right now we have 2 employees that work about 20 hours a week that are
Right.
through NARCOG,
Okay.
CSAP, which is a state and federal program.
Right.
And then we have AmeriCorps Vistas through.
That's so interesting.
Yes, so it's Volunteers in Service to America. It's like the Domestic Peace Corps. And so the Vistas sign up for 1 year,
Okay.
and they serve with us for 1 year. Sometimes we've had some that stay over, but 1 year, and they really work for not much pay. They have a living stipend that's about $12,000 that they work with us, but then at the end, there's an educational award that's up to $6,000.
Neat.
So we've had a lot of just graduated college students, because that money can go to pay for loans
Neat.
as well, and you don't have to
Okay.
pay for loans while you're working with us. So we've had people from Virginia, from Washington, D.C., we've had
Okay.
some locals, we've had a little bit of everybody, all
Awesome.
different ages, young to older, and they have been such a benefit to us because
Good.
they work 40 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a capacity building program, so it helps us. You know, they've built spreadsheets for us, registration, volunteer services,
That's awesome.
logos, you know, just done so much stuff that's really helped us to grow. So
I
that's
bet.
been a huge benefit.
And that program has been going for a year?
2014.
2000, oh, awesome, almost 4 years.
Yes,
And you
yes.
have some with you now, currently?
Yes, we have 2
Okay.
right now, and then we will be hiring 3 or 4 in January. So if
Okay.
anybody's interested, let us know.
Okay.
So
And the ages for that, of course, they have to
we
be
say 18 and up,
18
pretty
and up,
much.
yeah.
We prefer college education, but you know,
Yeah.
we'll if you're qualified, we'll definitely.
You'll look at you
Look at you.
anyway. Okay, awesome. Is there anything that we need to add today other than we encourage you to go out and if you want to be part of that class on November the 6th, or December the 1st, you need to sign up because it'd be awesome.
I would tell a little about our summer programs too.
Yes,
It seems a long way off till summer, but that's another thing that we do. We've done our touring farms for kids. This will be the 19th year, so a long time that's been going on. That's been one thing before we had a facility, before we had anything, the board started doing. So that's a 2-day tour of farms for kids ages 7 to 13.
Awesome.
And then we also do garden camps for preschoolers and for elementary age. And then we also have a sewing camp. So we have we do 2 different weeks of sewing camps. So those are in the summertime.
And the ages for the sewing is?
Basically 5 and up.
Oh, really?
5 and 6-year-olds need an adult with them, but everything else is drop off. So the garden camp, the elementary is drop off. Our preschool, we still ask for a parent to come along. And then touring farms for kids is a drop off program.
Is a drop
as well.
off. I'm sure those fill up in a hurry down
They do, especially it's interesting. The sewing camp is the one that fills up the fastest.
Does it
now.
really?
So yes.
Oh, and see, I think that's so good that I wished I could sew.
I know.
It's one of the areas that I didn't pay attention to.
Yeah, we teach some hemming and putting buttons on, and just your basic repair as well. So
see, that's so neat to be able to do that. So those are coming up this summer, so it's not too early to go online and sign up for those.
We don't have them open quite yet, but they will open usually March. March, is when we have those open.
Well, just put that on your calendar for March, and if you're organized like Rachel is, you've already got your calendar, and have that out. So it is an important thing, isn't it, to be thinking about what you're going to do. So
yes, parents start thinking about it pretty early.
They do, don't they?
Yes.
They have to. Well, we're so excited that it's just doing so well. We knew that it would. Such a wonderful addition to our community.
Thank you.
Something that so many communities in our state, they don't have.
Right, yes ma'am.
And so I think it's a wonderful thing for the community. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much.
And of course with us today, Rachel Dawsey, and she is the director for the Agplex here in our community. We'll be back with more of Cullman in the Morning right after this.